Okay, I come back. I try to not to talk too much, and then I try to make the precise, but it's very hard to precise. So there's not a lot of things to talk, and then the time is not that much. So more like I'm gonna break down each story. So when you look at this YouTube video, you don't see that much flow about the connection, but that's the only way I can do it to talk to all the story, So let's talk about the one more time about the last time I talked about the inertia. It was very interesting word because the people doesn't want to move at all. And then I found one of these children's book. This is very interesting about the physics. And then one of the section is here, this one. If you look at it, Newton's first law, inertia. Newton's first law is inertia. The first law is called inertia. This means an object will stay still unless something pushes or pulls on it. So I'm doing the push and pull. So many ways to make the people move. People, they just, whenever the issue coming up, they just want to say, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to get into it. So what is going to happen? Since the LA riot, we thought that's the end of it. But now we have another riot again. Don't you think so? If you stay still, not moving at all, and then doesn't do any improvement, this one will gonna happen again. Whenever time the political politician, they want to use it, they're gonna use the color card again. Actually, the race card, but they cannot use the race card anymore because we have DNA. But they're gonna use the color card. And even now, they never use the race card. They always use the black card. The black card only. The black people, they have to know what's going on. Okay, so we, disconnected and then we reconnected. That's the way I'm bringing up the story. So one of the story is when I got in the New York City 30 years ago, very short time, I was in Hunter College, the CUNY Hunter College, and I have a class with a sociology class, and then he was the African-American black, professor. And then he gave, most of his lecture is about, very short with the sociology, but everything was about how, black people got treated bad. And then he's teaching to the, this student, in the Hunter College, City University. I was very impressive about his lecture, I was all kind of agreeing with what he's saying, everything, all those black slavery story, everything. And then one day, he brought up these things. He said, the Asian woman wanna be a white people. That's why Asian woman using the cosmetic whitening cream. And then this cosmetic company using the commercial with this skin lotion is called the whitening cream. Because Asian woman wanna be a white people. That was his lecture. And then that's the moment, what? It wasn't true. It wasn't true at all. He doesn't know we have all different kind of, the meaning of the white. It's a big misunderstanding. Let me show you. This is the big misunderstanding. In Chinese character and Korean word, we have all sorts kind of different, white shade. One of those, the movie or the book, they said, what did gray has a 50 shades, something like that. Whatever, the white has so many shades. We don't do the buying the skin lotion because we want to be a white people. No way, it wasn't. And then that's the moment, the professor looks, that's not right. That was the 30 years ago, and time goes by. Whenever I look back his lecture, I can see he's very, very into it with those things, about the black people getting slaved. I can see the same thing like my grandma is planted about the hatred to the Japanese. I saw the same thing to this, black professor. I think this black professor grew up with one of those great-grandfather who's always talking about this victimizing story, and then he got into it. And then he cannot see his generation doesn't have those things. He cannot see it because he got so blinded. And I think last time, he's still teaching. So the college, they teaching wrong. And the black people, you have to be really careful about this teaching. Because they keep embedding in your head, you are the victim being. They keep victimizing you again, over and over. You're never gonna get out of it. This black, the slave story, that became your black history? Oh, no, I don't think so. Nobody holding up the slave story. Even though my country has slave 600 years, but nobody developing slave story. Who does? I cannot pull out any country who is developing the slave story. And also, one more thing. Okay, now I remember. Sometimes I'm talking, I forgot. I like to say one more thing about this, world map. What happened? What happened is 100 years ago. 100 years ago, when you look at here, everywhere, we go through the war. Where is the Germany? Somewhere here. My eye is not that much sharp anymore, so I cannot find the Germany around there. Germany. And then I know the Japan. Right here, the Japan. Those two countries is messed up whole world. When I got in the United States, they only talking about the Holocaust and the Jewish genocide, right? Japan, the Holocaust is nothing. I think they killed 10 times more than the German killed and the Jewish. The German did the one, race, Jewish genocide. I think the Japanese did a 5-country genocide. Everywhere, China, Russia, Korea, Vietnam, Philippines, everywhere. And then officially, they don't count it. And they don't talk about it. So those two countries messed up the whole world, right? So we go through really hell. In the United States, African American, they're so protected. Maybe they're gonna claim, we went to the World War II too. Yeah, I know, you drafted and go to the, as a soldier. You cannot compare the life of the, World War II and the people who are living in there. Actually, United States and the whole America pretty much protected from the Second World War II. The World War II. And they also did the World War I too. The people go through the hell in here. And then you complaining about some, mistreating. I don't think you can compare the United States slave or some maltreated race, you cannot compare to the Holocaust and genocide. So look at this. So the African American in United States soil, you got out of the slave 200 years ago, right? And then maybe people maltreated some point. Yeah, it was there. But Jewish people, they got the genocide, Holocaust. And they came United States only 100 years ago, not long ago. And then where they are? I think Jewish people own the United States. I'm so proud of them. I'm very proud of them. Because financial field, education, military, everywhere, they're so outstanding in the United States soil. They even can bring back their country, Israel. And then they're doing very good, right? The Jewish people. Look at the black people. Black people, they still defending the criminal. Their page is still defending the criminal. That's the black people now. You have to wake up, black people. Somebody want to use you over and over and over again. When you look at the Civil War, back then, 30 years ago, when I was in Korea, I look at the Civil War is really totally different way. That's the way how they taught me. And then when I came here, I thought so too. But after Black Lives Matter, I look back. I look back and I found out, oh, the Civil War is nothing to do with the free the slave. It's not the black and white fight. It was the white and white fight. It's some two political parties fight each other and they just use black, slave-free things. Since then, these political people, whenever they need, they only using the black card all the time. All the time. And then black people, black card is always working for them. Don't you think they're not going to use it again? It's not end. It's not end. They're going to use it again. Of course, because it's working. The black card is always working. If you look at the history of 200 years, 200 over here history is nothing. I told you my country is 4,534 years. 4,534 years. 200 is nothing. And then I can see it clearly, what's going on. And I like to talk about the black and Asian too. Some kind of, the Asian, we're really getting along with the black people. But back then, I have a story 30 years ago when I got in here. I was walking down the street with one of the known person. She grew up in here. She was born in here, but she came, early age, and then she attended school in here, New York City. But she was ahead of me, so we were walking down the street, and then we saw the bunch of black guys coming to us. And then she told me, hey, we have to cross the road. So I told her, why? She said, oh, don't ask me, we have to cross the road. So I crossed the road. We go the other side. And then when we passing by, those black guys, couple of black guys is shouting at us, oh, you scare us, something like that. So I couldn't understand because I was from the Korea, so I didn't know what is going on. And then she told me, oh, you know what? There's a lot of rape from the black guys to the Asian girl. So, okay, but it didn't make me anything because I didn't experience That's from her experience. I just heard it when she told me, you gotta be careful. I remember that time. So when I look back the history, there's the black people was such obnoxious, disgusting, and then very bad racist to the Asian people. They did. Back then, 100 years ago. And then it was there all the time. We Asian people, we got treated so bad, the black people most, and then even the white people. But have you ever seen any Asian, we have any protest? No, we don't do the protest. We never done. And then in the news, they never put us in the news. Not once in the 100 years and 200 years. And then now they want to talk about these black people, beat up some Asian man or some did something. That was all politics. Because this political, administration, they don't want the black and white anymore. They want to distract the people from black and white to the black and Asian. That's why they keep putting in the media about what happened to the black and Asian. Why they don't put the white and Asian? Why white people is not beating up the Asian? They do. But they don't want to show it. Because they don't want to bring the white and black anymore. They want to bring the white and the black and Asian. They want to distract the people from the black and white. All right, I have to calm down myself a little bit because sometimes I get so much passion coming up, and then, the word is coming out so not organized. Okay. So I want to talk about this word again one more time. All right, the Japan and then Germany was the one who messed up the whole world. The damage they made it is really, really not simply can, recover. It was really a lot of things happened after they make the war all over the world. And then some ironic thing is, those two countries doing really well nowadays. And then I asked a couple of people, I don't understand, why they are the one who doing really well. How about all the country who got invaded and then who got suffered? They're not doing that much good. And then some people said, they get reconstruct, from the country. But anyway, this all kind of international things. And then I notice if you fight, sometimes they're getting better. Maybe that's why, this black and white is fight. They want to get their territory is big. But I like to talk about the Asian today. A little bit earlier, I told you about the Asian people. We had the same, treat like the racist by the racist from the, white people and black people, both sides. The reason we don't do any acting in the United States is one of the reasons. There's so many reasons, though, I'm sure there's a lot of rape was going on by the black people to the Asian girl in the back then. A lot. Even I have a story about when the Japanese came to the United States in first. One of the Yakuza, they have to cut one of those rapists' head, and hanging to the street to prevent they keep raping the Japanese girl. I don't know. That's the story. But anyway, we don't do that much. There's a lot of not reported. mistreatment to the Asian people. Not only the beating, killing, and rape, so many things from the black people. And then the black people isn't that much, I think, in this right now, I don't think they're in that much advanced, position in the society than the Asian people. When we mistreated, when I look at the history, I don't know why, but most of Asian people, they just, hide it, don't talk to them. And then whatever they did, they're working more hard and then send their children more high education. So we never defend the criminal. Previously, one of the episodes, I think it was Guilty and Innocence, I told about my brother's story. My brother break the law and then break the order, but I never defended my brother. I blamed my brother. That was his fault. And then from this point, I also want to talk about the different colored people, especially for the Asian and then Native American. There was really, I think the people really mistreated Native American because of the Columbus. He found the America and he thought that's India. So he started calling them Indian. That's why they got the name wrong in the beginning. But they had nothing to do with the Indian. Everybody knows it. And later, they gave them the name Native American. But I always doesn't have that much way to pronunciate the Native American. But now, I like to show the world map one more time. Here, you see here, India. It's nothing like America. India, I don't know. He traveled here, and then he think he's gonna hit the India. India is here. India is here. I don't get it. How he's gonna travel? Anyway, that's the old time. They don't have that much science in there back then. So India people, we call the Indian. Korean people, we call the Korean. Japan people, Japanese. China, Chinese. Okay. Iran, Iranian. Iraqian. Okay, that's the way how we call, right? So I think America, we should call them American. Native American is American. Everybody else is immigrant. Maybe previous president, Ronald Reagan, maybe he's fourth or fifth generation of the immigrant. They are all immigrant. You don't have to talk about the color. We only have the one American. Native American, they are the American. And everybody else is immigrant. First generation immigrant, second generation immigrant. European immigrant, African immigrant, Asian immigrant, it's all immigrant. You cannot really truly become the American. The point of view, my country, 4,534 years. This United States and most of American, country, they only have 200 years. This is the time they have to fix. They think some football is the American culture. I don't think so. Native American, they don't care about the football. Who cares about the football? I never watched the football. I think that's still like some odd, sports, to me. Even the basketball, do you see how tall they are? They're twice bigger than me. Sometimes I feel like, is that they're the human? Something like that. That's very tall, the gene, they even sometimes doesn't have to jump to put the ball in it. And baseball, whatever, do you think that's American culture? I don't think so. That's a European immigrant culture. Nothing to do with me. I'm the immigrant too. I'm more focusing about the American. I call the Native American, I start calling them true American. They're the true American. And then who cares about the American culture? Black, white, yellow, nobody cares about the American culture. They don't respect the American culture. I love the American culture. They're more relaxing, more relaxing. They don't have that much, rule in the life. Very peaceful. It's supposed to be like that. These old immigrants, they came to this country, this land, and then they keep shedding the blood in this holy land. They totally ignored true American, Native American. I'm telling you, the Native American, you have to bring back your name. Your name is true American. You're the American in here. Thousands of years you used to live in this land. It was your holy land. Recently, I watched an old movie, Out of Africa. The Meryl Streep was the star in the movie. And then it's about the story about that she went to the Africa for the, some kind of, coffee bean farm things. But when she left, she was worried about the, her farm worker, the African people. And then she's begging to the governor, the new governor, and then find a place for them. And then she telling him it was their land before we come. We should give them the place to stay. That's what she said. $200 of the culture is nothing. We have to start respect the true American and stop fighting over the color. Nobody has, bring the race anymore. We have DNA. And then if you're fighting over the color, that looks so stupid to the whole world. To the whole world. It was such a shame. Black Lives Matter was such a shame in this 21st century. And then they're using, I like to tell you about another one, the police department policeman. Even the beginning, this incident has 4 policemen. And then one white, one is yellow, 2 is black, I think. And then since the beginning, they want to opt out everybody else, and then they put it on the only white policeman to make the contrast with this black criminal. And then black people got into it. I have to say something about why the black people get into it so easily. They only looking at it, emotional means to end. they're very emotional. I think, the black people, they have such a beautiful talent they have. Something they can relax. That's the big misunderstanding between the black and white, especially for the white people. White people, they don't understand black people well, even in the beginning. That's why they treat them like that. But actually, there's so many good things for the black people. Something from the white people's point of view, it doesn't look like it. But that's what we need in this world. And then don't get played by this political power. They always want to use the one side to win the other one. One of the big misunderstandings, I like to talk, but unfortunately, it was in my head, but I forgot. God. I don't know how I'm gonna finish up everything, but in the beginning, there was the big misunderstanding from the European culture. When you look at it here, let me tell you about the one more thing from the world map. Okay, the European and the Asian and then Africa. This part wasn't here. Just to, we living in only this world. I don't know when they found Australia. Anyway, I think it's all like this. And then when you look at the Europe, look at this all small country. So many, right? Whatever the race they are, and then even the Asian, some reason they developed the war. Some point, the war, after war, they became their life. They never stay peacefully long time. They have to fight. Long time, and especially in the Europe. I don't know why. That's why they developed, all the time they develop the weapons better, and they build the castles, and then they make the biggest war, Great War, whatever, in Asian people. And then when you do the war, some reason, the humans, they getting more development. They getting wise, and then they think more about the life of the, meaning. So, when this culture, kind of war culture, getting together with Africa is not that much war culture. They're more relaxing. And then even the America, the new land, they do have the, fight, but not like the European people. I don't know, some reason I think is from the, after the Jesus Christ, they make a lot of war. After the Jesus Christ died, the war after war, that's their history. And then that kind of, the culture crash in with some relaxed culture. It's total misunderstanding form. Now, we're in 21st century. We are all kind of interrace. And then before I wrap it up, I want to tell you about the Seinfeld episode. This is one of the episodes I like it very much. It's aired in 1998. 1998 is how many years ago? It's like 20, I cannot count well. 24 years ago, 23 years ago. And then that's the one, it happened after the LA riot things. And then season 9, Seinfeld, season 9, episode 15. Episode 15. And the subtitle was The Wizard. But actually, it's about the interracial relationship between the Elaine and then some other guy. You know, they couldn't figure out he's the black or white thing, right? But that's the episode you should watch it. You know, if you watch it, that episode, when they're talking about the black in front of the diner, no, inside the diner, the waitress come, and then, you know, suddenly at one point, they just, stop talking about the black thing. That's what happened 30 years ago when I got in the New York City. They don't want to talk about the word black, because even my ESL class, one of the guy, when I told them I'm in the New York City, he told me that some kind of orientation, told me you shouldn't say the word black in front of subway or in the bus. Whenever you see the black people, you shouldn't say the word black, no matter what. He gave me the orientation. I don't think black people like it. But back then I was new, so I really didn't care to say the word black. You know, I really don't care, you know. And then he gave me some different word to present them, but I never used them, you know. Because in my memory, in 30 years, I never had any bad experience with the black people. So I don't believe whatever they saying in the media. No, we have a really peaceful, good relationship everywhere. But suddenly, this political power, they want to make a crash between the black and white. So they stir up everything with this one picture with the police, white police and black criminal. So one more time, don't defend the criminal, no matter what. It's a new era. You know, if you're not doing good, you're not doing good. It's not because of your skin color. Nobody really care about the skin color anymore. Okay. I think that's all today. If I remember something else, I'm going to bring up next time. And then next time, we have, one more time. This is new word for this new 21st century. If you judge someone based on their skin color, you have to start calling them colorcist and colorcism. And culturecist and culturecism. I'm going to bring this, things to the, Manhattan. I'm going to go to the UN street. And then one more thing about I forgot to tell you about this one more time. What's going on right now is this one is going on, Somebody, tried to show the people, the king is wearing the nice clothing, but I see king is naked. There's no nice clothing. I don't see anywhere. All right, so I'm going to see you next time. Bye.